how then do we manage to boost our exports if the local production, which majorly depends on the loans that we get from the commercial banks, and those loans now, you see the way the rates are so high. So therefore, we are indirectly or directly killing the production in our country. And now what we are talking about, the exports that we want to bank on, we can't achieve it because of the high rates, the central bank rates. And you're saying that we let the market just determine the rates.
I think it's true. Monetary policy has been tightened, and it has been tightened to respond to the circumstances that we were in. Inflation was high, and it was high for external reasons, which we have explained. Ukraine war and the Russia war, which led to increase in commodity prices. And every central bank around the world, it's not just us, including the US, have had to tighten their monetary policy. And the interest rate regime is quite high, even in the US and others. Our own central bank had to tighten monetary policy also because of high inflation. So we have now contained inflation. It's now 6.3. It's coming down, the rates are good, so at least things are going to be better. And with the stability that we see in the exchange rate, and we see that central bank is not likely to stay in that for a while. I think it's monetary policy, which is independent, will review the information available and will make adjustments as and when necessary. So when I was speaking about exchange rate, competitive exchange rate, which is different from interest rate. Yes, and I thought we have understood me on that front.
There's a problem with the. Why don't you think that if we stop defending the exchange rate, we stop actually defending it, and we just let it just flow to an extent where the dollar even hits 250 shillings? Then in such a situation, two things will happen. Number one thing that will happen is that our debt will balloon. Just listen, Mheshimiwa, this is serious economics. Yeah, and you will get to know about it here. Now, if we leave it, then one of the impacts is that our debt will seriously balloon, and therefore we can decide and say that we will not pay the debts. There's nothing that they can do. And number two, if we are not paying the debts, and the exchange rate is high, which means that the imported goods, we will discourage consumption of imported goods. And therefore, we will treat the foreign absorption or the absorption from the imports. We will discourage it and we will encourage domestic production, because the moment we stop consuming the imports, we will now be encouraging consumption of domestically produced goods, and that will make us grow. That is the only thing that will make us grow as a nation. Shimiwa, do you understand? Yes.